Okay, let's start with intro since we've got a nice full house today. You want to start with Kay?
Sure. Kay Buckles, I'm volunteer, and I'm on the dog park group, part of Rotary, the Riverfront Subcommittee, and just recently we started the skate park group.
Cool.
There you go.
Great. Thanks.
I'm Ann Meyer, and I'm just the treasurer.
You have a job.
Very
important. You have a job.
I do have a job and a half.
I'm retired.
Cool.
I'm Remington Keo. I grew up here. I've just moved back into the area.
Yeah.
I've just walked into this room, so I'm not sure what else to give you.
We're
But I'm here.
Good.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
I'm Sabrina Blackadder. I'm the vice president of the boosters.
Oh,
So I'm here
hey.
representing our
Good.
booster.
I sent Marilyn.
Yes.
And I
Yeah,
said,
Marilyn
maybe
couldn't make
somebody-
it,
right.
so.
I'm like, well, maybe somebody can.
Okay, perfect. So that's fine.
I'll see.
Cool.
Hebert, born and raised in Sheridan, city council realtor, riverfront. I remember everything that I thought I just tried once. Little sister of John.
Real
That's
thing.
I probably got a few others.
Younger.
That's a big job.
Did I say older?
No, you said
Did I? Because it's been a long day. I just walked from one to the other. Your turn.
My name is Rod Moore. I grew up in Wilmot and Sheridan. I currently am with the Dallas American Legion Riders, and I'm the director for the state of Oregon. I will be stepping down in June because I'm looking at opening a new church.
Oh,
Where?
I don't know if it's going to be Sheridan, Wilmot. I've got a new ministry, a motorcycle ministry called Set Free.
That's awesome.
Should do an article at the Sheridan Sun on you. I mean,
No.
the,
Bulletin board.
Bulletin board.
God, sorry, the bank just closed down this week. It's been a very slow little week for me.
Good. Well, welcome. Thanks for coming.
Trying to figure out where to go, where to start.
I'm Ian Houston, the city councilor here in Sheridan.
Cool. Welcome.
Meet John Hebert, older brother of Lucy Hebert, and president of the Sheridan Museum of History. Also a volunteer for Meals and Grills for 12 years, and the food bank for Calvary Chapel. And pleased to have everybody here. This is absolutely the biggest crowd we've had on revitalization. And before I get much further, could I get your name again?
Sabrina.
No, I got you.
Oh, you got my name.
Oh, what's the last name?
Blackadder.
That could be the tricky part.
It's Blacketer. And we've only lived here for 5 years. We came from Lincoln City.
Oh, and the gentleman next to you?
Remington Keo.
Remington.
That's the name of my puppy.
Like the gun?
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
You get that a lot, I bet.
Depends on which state.
What's the last name, Eric?
Keo. Keouga.
Perfect. Anyway, glad to have everybody here.
Yeah.
Dorothea Lee, volunteer, member of the Chamber of Commerce.
Cool.
I'm Laura Conroy, and I work for the Mid-Willamette Valley Council of Governments, and I do some contract work for the city. And so, hello, we haven't met yet, but you will see my face around. Thanks to you all. Just here to assist with revitalization.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jason, I'm the secretary here.
Cool. TK Juwaidro or TK, either one's fine. I'm the president of Revitalization and also born and raised here. Spent all but 5 years of my life here.
Janet Hollander, been here since 1974, citizen of Sheridan.
Susan Chamberlain, I'm born and raised here, done a lot of things in the community, and now I'm the administrative assistant at the West Valley Community Campus.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
And Joe Neely, blogger.
Okay, great. Well, welcome again, everyone. And we're going to jump into it with the review of April minutes. Wait, do we have enough? We do. We have three. Yes. That's the majority. Yeah, okay, good. So the board, make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve April minutes.
Okay, second, all those in favor?
Sure.
Great, anyone not? Okay, it's all of us, we're good, we're great. Okay, so anything, action items from last month?
Yeah,
Yeah?
there are some. Okay. Well, no, that was. Okay. Well, this didn't have a name behind it. Find out if Leo's going to do the entrance. I know he's on a plane the other day.
Oh, that was during, for
That
the
was,
cleanup.
yeah, that was for the cleanup. So that doesn't matter.
Did it
Whether we-
happen? Did the, well, we can talk about during the cleanup, but that's fine, okay.
And to reach out to Natalie, this is what's needed to be ready for the mural.
I still haven't, just because we haven't had nice weather and I haven't felt like the pressure yet. And I still need to look into writing some grants, so.
Okay.
Now that I am officially on the.
Okay, we're gonna add it in bold. for
Yes.
this one.
Okay.
Well, it's on my agenda either tomorrow or next Friday, because I now have Fridays off.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Great.
All right, TK to confirm Linda, the students will be there. Okay.
Yep, that's
Students are
done.
there. Yep. Okay. And then there was the beer garden meeting, which I ended up having to miss for some reason. I can't remember why, but.
Yes, we did have that meeting and we made a really great plan. And we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about that later.
That's fine. Ashton brought the towards paperweights, it's fine. And we did, I know I didn't go with Heidi to speak to Betty Hughes about options to update the building facade.
Okay, so that still has to happen.
Yep.
Does anyone know if they're back open? The owners are back? Anyone know? Then they are? Okay.
Vacation.
Okay, so the idea behind that is to have two of our board members and Heidi, the city manager, go and talk to the owners of Benny Huey's to see if we could help with maybe a facade improvement grant, what the interest is in repainting that building since it's kind of an eyesore right now but do it in a positive, we can support and help you way. So we're trying to do that as a personal contact thing and not like an email or whatever. So, okay.
Yep.
Can you add it as a action plan for me to email Heidi about that?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff.
Does the banners have anything to do with the action plan?
Yes, that's on the list.
Oh, it is?
But it's on the list.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah. So we'll definitely talk about that. Yeah. Okay. But look, almost all of that was done.
That's pretty good.
Okay, good, let's take it when we can get it. I always like that. Okay, great, treasurer's report?
Of course, the only bank statement I have is through March 29th, because it's too early to have April's, especially since today's only May 2nd, but our balance in our account as of 3/29/24 was 15,266.68.
Okay.
And I owe Ashton a little bit for pickers and a plaque, so it was like $30 and not, and $100.
And you owe him?
No.
No,
she's
you paid
paying
him.
me.
Okay,
I
good,
think-
we're all
I
done
think
with
it's
that.
cash.
Great.
15,
stuff.
what is it?
15,266.68.
And for everyone's benefit, do you want to do a quick breakdown on where those are at, what they're,
So,
Okay.
yeah, bridge lighting, 7,500, murals, 1,458.37, and the rest would be in the general fund.
okay.
Sorry, just one follow-up, because from last time, from 2 months ago, was the one back to Golden Valley. Did that go out? Did you get the email about that?
I did, but we have to write them a check.
Okay.
Yes, how much was that again?
I have 270, yeah,
I don't remember.
yeah.
I'd have to look, but
Yeah,
Okay,
it's not a ton.
yeah.
okay,
I think it's 112 or something. So, yeah.
okay, good. Okay, great, so Ashton's not here, which is kind of hard with the spring cleanup debriefing. Do you guys want to just tell me about how it went and?
It went great.
Good.
I was not there. I
What-
last minute couldn't
Was it
go.
over 100?
There's about 100 volunteers per what he said.
Yeah.
It was my smallest load of trash yet.
That's interesting.
Which I don't know
Which
if
is
that,
good and bad.
Do you know if
Yeah.
Heidi get us a list of like the top locations? It was one of the things that we were missing for last year is knowing like the hot areas to get.
I don't know, 'cause I'm only there at the very
I can
end.
tell you one.
Yeah.
I just went down like the alley, and by the way, I found a lot of tin foil that they used to cook drugs in.
Oh.
And side between the alley and the
What
post office.
alley?
The alley behind my building.
Oh.
It's a main traffic area for high school kids when they're coming from the grocery store. So then I went down Harney Street, and then as I was going across the parking lot, I noticed that there's always a big milestone of debris along that cyclone fencing between the store and the river. And if I remember right, sometimes if you're ever working late at night, which I think they clean it and then they leaf blow it. And because Select Market provides such a great service to downtown Sheridan by letting people park in that and are not going to their store, I felt obligated to clean that section up with the side, because it's trashy and dirty and ugly. And that's how you go down to the river, by the way. And there was a couple other ladies that saw me, and I said, oh, there's some really good scores over here. And so the three of us were cleaning on that side, and between just going from the school to the parking lot, I filled my bag.
Wow, can you make a note of that location so that we can just, for the next
And you know,
agenda?
because Select Market does such a great favor to Sheridan by letting other people use their parking lot like they are right now, I feel like it's a kind courtesy, but man, is it full of junk.
Okay.
And it was ugly, but those other two
Good,
women did a
good that
job
you
too.
did
So is
that,
that
though.
behind the store?
No, you just
Oh,
go
right,
around.
right by the parking lot.
Yeah, where the
Right by
parking
the
lot
fence,
is on the
okay.
north side,
Okay.
and they just blow everything there, and it just gathers, and
Yeah.
it's just a real
I
trash
saw some
collection.
comment on social media about someplace behind Napa Auto Parts or something like that.
Well, that might be where they park, but that would be between that and where the old granary used to be. And actually, I think they got a little homeless shelter back in there. They did have a little setup. They're supposed to be building apartments back there.
Okay. Okay.
But people can actually see the Select Market crap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Under needs improvement, there were no gloves. The boxes of gloves weren't there
Oh,
this year.
but Ashton found them later. At
Oh,
the
really?
end, he found them
Where were they?
in his truck.
Oh,
But the nice lady.
I am very well organized. They
The-
definitely were there. I just had them organized in a separate crate.
I'll make a note for Ashton.
The
Don't
nice-
lose the gloves
I'll
in
be-
your
I'll be
truck.
there next time.
those
I'll be there next time, don't
The
worry.
nice
Yes.
lady from the Mercantile, Alicia,
Alicia.
she brought gloves.
Okay.
over
Yes.
from her
A
store.
couple
You might wanna tell her
boxes,
thank you for
but
bringing
the
Yeah.
them.
majority of the folks had already went
Well,
out.
oh, yeah.
And
Ashton
we
found
just-
him when he was putting stuff away.
Yeah, we have hundreds of gloves.
Yes, we have lots of
And
gloves.
we told people, just use the pickers, do not pick up with your hands.
Well, I never want anyone to pick up. with
I
them.
know, but
Yeah.
if
But
you got gloves
need
on,
to
is what I'm
sometimes.
saying.
When you
Yeah.
got gloves, sometimes you need
Yes,
to.
it's, that's,
Okay.
Okay, cool. I think
Okay.
that's, unless there's any other major fixes, I think I'll wait till Ashton can call in
Yeah.
just to see if he has
Yeah.
anything else.
Again, and I don't know if the less trash is that we're actually making a difference, doing it now twice a year, because now we've been more consistent
In
since
doing it
COVID
twice a
in
year,
doing
yeah.
it twice a year, or people just didn't pick up, I don't know.
You know what
But-
I was thinking, is maybe like a couple weeks before, we can send out a survey. I don't know if this is asking for trouble though, to send out a survey to the public to say, hey, if you've noticed any bad spots, except for I was like, what if they like put their trash there?
Right, exactly,
Yeah,
yeah, I
that
think
might
just working with Heidi. is
Just
fine.
working
Yeah,
with
I
it.
agree.
Yeah.
Or
it's
the
Public Works.
the
Yeah,
lady at
Public
Public Works,
Works,
does she
right.
still work there, the lady that was really
Sandy,
helpful?
Sandy's
Yeah.
now the clerk.
Okay, so maybe we just
Oh,
need to
just
make
work
sure
with-
that we
Yeah,
work with
contact
her.
with them.
Yeah,
I
I
forgot
mean,
her
maybe
last
she
name.
did
Help me.
pass it along to
No.
Ashton, I don't
No,
know, I just,
can't
yeah.
remember.
Okay, good stuff. Anything else anyone wants to add on the cleanup?
I would.
Yeah.
So I think maybe there's a possibility that zone 7 should be maybe modified to where there are certain locations of that area people shouldn't even try picking up trash.
Which one, which part was on?
Where the overpass is.
We're not supposed to do.
We did fine, we really did.
Oh,
And what was,
that-
yeah,
Oh.
we went up that way, but the thing is too, what helped was this year, they had ODOT or some of those people pick up,
Wonderful.
yeah, part of it on the ramp coming into
Oh,
Sheridan.
good.
Usually that ramp is very bad, but I'll go ahead and say is that Jim did go down.
We're
the bank.
rebels and
Yes, he's
we do
reached-
want to support that, and I know Willamina does that. We
Yeah.
just need to make sure that we have the safety
Yes.
signs
He
out.
won't be as aggressive trying to reach down.
Did
to
you
get-
fall down the embankment?
He did go down.
Oh,
the
no.
embankment.
Yeah,
But
last
he's
time he
fine.
just got
sacrificing
safety line.
himself.
Yes, he went.
I still would like to see between Sheridan and Willamina picked up. It's just terrible.
Yeah.
But we can't.
You know, it's possible that maybe we could do like a joint thing between, you want to add that, I forgot the gentleman's name that runs the one in Willamina, and I know they focus on the highway, they don't focus on the 18B, that would 18B, right? That would be 18B between the two towns? Yeah. But maybe we could do like a once
That
a
would be
year
wonderful.
in between the towns one.
Talking Gary Brooks.
Yes, Gary Brooks, there you go.
Oh, Gary, yeah.
I come in handy.
Yeah.
So what is that? You want an action in there? Or you-
Yeah, just say, reach out to Gary Brooks about doing a joint cleanup between the two towns on 18B.
Right, just
Yeah.
18B.
Yeah, yeah, that would be cool. Okay, cool, great. Let's
Beer garden.
put the beer gardens towards, a little bit more towards the end on the off chance Ashton can call him, because a chunk of this is his. So let's just get
I
everything
did
else.
talk to him briefly too. So, but yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so mural, anything on the murals? We were just waiting on getting, but the property owner knows now that we are planning on doing it.
Yeah,
Right, right.
but
Okay,
you really need to,
Right.
I'm surprised he hasn't painted over that.
Well,
And
it's
the
only-
weather is horrible, so.
Right, exactly. That's
Yeah.
why I haven't reached out to
Any-
Natalie. She's like, I need
Yeah.
warm, dry weather.
Right.
And a
For
stretch
a
of warm,
while.
right, a stretch
Yeah.
of
let's
warm,
look at
dry
the
weather.
forecast.
So,
Getting anything?
It's supposed to be nice.
80 next week.
Yeah.
He's been
Really?
he's been in India, so.
right.
So I heard.
Did you really see 80 next week?
That's what I heard.
Okay,
What did
do
you?
you,
That's a double.
do you think you want to reach out to her and say that we've got a stretch of it and we'd really like to?
Day for one day doesn't.
And
Right.
then
Could just run
did
my-
we have anything that we were doing on checking if we needed to put any board,
Vapor barrier.
vapor barrier or whatever?
I'm assuming it's already primed. I don't think they would have
Are
left
we gonna
it.
check on it?
Well,
I mean,
it was, oh my gosh.
Quimby.
Quimby, yeah, Craig. He said that it's already primed.
Oh, okay,
Right.
okay, so nothing, it doesn't need to be done, it's just
No.
getting her there
Forget his
and
name.
set up. Okay.
All right.
Okay, good. So if anyone's wondering, this is the mural that was damaged by water, the mandala that was damaged by water, and we have an agreement with the artist that she will fix it. We're paying her to fix it. A small chunk of change, but she will fix it, and then we'll have a finished mural, which we really would like to have a finished mural. And then the next one, oh, we have the arms. The arms.
So I talked to Holt
The
today.
hands.
The
He
hands.
said
This
that
is
the
the
directional.
the directional, which is
Directional.
like the one off of 3rd Street with the arms pointing.
And then we're gonna have 4 and 4.
Arms.
I mean, arms is like octopus. Like I don't know. That's
They're like
Fingers.
Yeah, fingers.
Arrows.
That's right. Yeah.
Arrow,
Yeah.
directional.
And he said that ours is in the queue.
Okay.
Because while we were making a decision, he was working with other people. He's just finishing theirs up.
Okay.
They said that we are in the queue and his plan is to have it done by the end of this month.
Okay, great, because he knows we want it done by Sheridan Days.
I did ask if he could send me some kind of proof, but he didn't really have anything other than what I showed you at the last meeting.
Which was fine. Did he decide on the colors? Did we decide on the colors?
No, he just said that he didn't have anything that he could send to me today. I just talked to him this afternoon, but he was on another job site, other than he's finishing those job
Did we
sites.
get to like this approve to make sure?
We
he
did some
doesn't-
recommendations on colors. I think. I mean, you know.
Well, I said I
Or,
wanted
sorry,
to
he was
kind
getting
of,
recommendations.
I wanted to
on
kind of
colors.
match my, complement my building kind of like Borsman's, but he said he's gonna use a different color plan because he doesn't want Borsman's to get upset.
Yeah.
Because I'm using, he's using the same color plans.
Oh, I know. Were you gonna talk to the museum guys about historical colors? That's what you were gonna check on.
Was it the colors for the
I don't
murals
think
or for
so.
something?
No.
I think it was for.
No, he was proposing colors. Like
Yeah.
he's been
He was
proposing colors. It's
proposing
been his
colors,
thing
right.
from the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, he
So I
had-
don't think we need to like delay it more by trying to
I
like.
think the museum colors were for murals in Sheridan if you use another big landscape.
Yeah.
That's the facade thing, yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, that's right.
okay.
Yeah.
Good, so
think
we
it's
know
fine.
it'll be done by end of the month and we'll be really excited about that.
That's what I told him.
And that's
Everybody's
going,
excited,
for everyone
get
to know,
excited.
that's going on the corner of her building and there'll be 2
Sheridan Road and Bridge Street.
with the
It's
idea.
just a cute little hand, like
Yeah.
you know,
Like a mini
This way.
public.
arms, yeah, got it. But hands pointing in different directions for,
Go this way, go that way.
I forget what it's
And-
called. now,
and-
but-
Participating being.
Ultimately, the idea would be maybe to do one over on the other side of the bridge
Right.
by the drugstore, whatever, like it's a cute directional thing.
Yep.
On the subject of art, public art, murals, that kind of stuff, I've had a cool series of emails with Susan from Sea Reach.
Oh,
They are very interested. I should probably include you on those emails. Yes. I think Heider's just been really busy, but they're very interested in doing a downtown survey and helping us with a variety of things regarding the color palette, like we talked about, and a bunch of other stuff. Like they're interested. We definitely have their attention. Yes.
You know, I like Susan from Sea Reach quite a bit, but the colors they've used in doing this, that thing that they were doing between Sheridan and Lorena, the colors that they picked out for Sheridan were not real. That's where I think the museum would come in with the antique colors to use.
Part of the conversation was that, and that between Susan and the museum, hopefully they could coordinate with Oregon Main Street.
That would be a really good idea.
SHPO, which I forget, State Historical Preservation Society.
Because I think the colors they had picked out for Sheridan were kind of just very faded and blasé-ish, and I think if they did consult with the museum, that would be a really good time to incorporate those colors.
Yeah.
Great.
Good. So yeah, so we are kind of mid discussion. If you can, make sure that I continue that.
And you need to, are you adding more to that? Is that what you think?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Add her to that conversation, and all that's left really. Oh, I sent Susan the downtown survey that was done in 2018 of all of the historical buildings, which hopefully was helpful. Anyway, so that was really exciting. And then I shared on our Facebook group some banner ideas because I get these series of emails from all of the Oregon Main Street. Like there's a listserv of all of the different, so I get these emails on a regular basis, and they had a topic of banners, and there's a local company that does the banners and the hardware and has like all the information. So I posted that on the group, which you might want to look at. And I think if we get the museum's agreement to work with us on that and do so the concept is the banners, we've talked about banners for a while, but I think the idea that a lot of people are liking is an idea that Joe had, which was to, like, let's say we're looking down bridge, maybe towards the bridge, to have an historical view on the banner. So it would be like, welcome Sheridan or whatever, but you'd have that historical view as you're looking down the actual view. We thought that would be kind of cool. Other towns do it as a fundraising, like the group that runs it gets the money, and they do like, you can put like memorial things, or you can put like events, like for Sheridan Days, there'd be information about all the different events, that kind of thing. I don't know if we want to jump into that. I think maybe just getting them up would be good. But anyway, so that's one step, and that would be probably a subcommittee that we would jump into. But anyway, I think what we need to do first is figure out the color scheme, downtown color scheme, historical palette, and then go from there. And I was hoping that Susan could be part of that, part of the color scheme, but also I really am sad that we didn't finish the branding, the wayfinding branding, because then we would have a repeating theme with the logo and all of that for Sheridan. But anyway, it would be great if maybe we could all come to agreement between the city and the council and our group and Sea Reach on, this is what we're going for, this is the color, even if it isn't the wayfinding project. I don't know, it's just an idea, because if it's decided, then the idea is if we have a palette and we have the branding, then we could go to any of these, like we could go to Ben Huey's and say, great, we can help get this certain kind of grant as long as you agree that you'll stick within the color scheme. or this kind of material, like you're not gonna use like this super kind of awning that molds all the time or whatever, like we have a certain standards, and then we are willing to go to bat for them in terms of grant writing and whatnot.
I think that falls within the art group that,
I did ask Heidi when she wanted to activate another meeting for this
Uh-huh.
year, and I just, she's busy, but I
I know.
did try to activate that.
sure, maybe after the budget, because that's the big thing
That's
right
just
now.
Yeah,
for
that's
this
kinda
month.
heavy
Yeah.
on our
Okay.
mind.
TK, can you tell us what the wayfinding is?
Oh, that was a project 2018, 19 or so.
Well, Frank was still
Yeah.
Yeah, it was before
before Heidi came on board.
COVID, yeah.
Before Heidi came on.
And the
board.
idea was Grand One, Willamina, and Sheridan would get grants for branding and kind of connecting the three towns. They would have their own unique branding. Like Grand Ron had the Native American thing and their theme, and Willamina had Timbertown. And we had agricultural, maybe river, but mainly agricultural, which didn't quite get approved, and there was problems. So basically Sheridan, no one could come to a full agreement. Willamina did, they got their branding. Grand Ron did not, I don't think.
I've not seen it out there.
Yeah,
but I
so
have
Willamina was the only one that actually took advantage of that and got it done, which is not surprising. They have their stuff together in terms of their, like, their groups working together, and they have done fairly well. So if you go there, you'll see they've got the nice signage, they've got the colors, all of that. So Sheridan can have that. I don't know if city council guys, if you know anything about when that is next open or available.
Ian doesn't know about it, but I can tell you, since I think Heidi's been on, we had a discussion once, and if I remember right, certain colors, they could, I can't remember the exact, I'd have to have that refreshed, but I thought Grand Ron had picked two, but if they hadn't, then that means that whole choice would be open. And of course, they had fish, and we have a river, and I like the idea of a fish more than I do a kayak or a river
But
raft.
do you know anything about because that's a grant that was used for doing that, and that grant closed now, so we'd have to, whatever organization that was with originally.
Maybe
Okay, well,
Susan will remember from
I'll take a
Sea
note
Reach.
Yeah,
and mention that at city
because
council
maybe we can
workshop.
do it, maybe we can do it in conjunction with Grand Ron, and I definitely think it should stick with the same format
Yeah.
as Willamina, because the idea of connecting the three towns is really great,
Tell me
especially if we're doing the water thingy, right?
What was that thing
The
called
float
again?
thing.
Sorry,
Wayfinding.
Oh, yeah,
Wayfinding.
wayfinding, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I really like that process. They opened up to people going and touring it and giving their feedback, and I think it just got a little complicated on agreement within Sheridan. Okay, good. Does anyone have any questions about murals, artwork, or the direction we're going with the banners? We're still kind of in the research phase on the banners.
I need to tell you, I talked to Marilyn.
Oh, that's
Yeah, and Marilyn said that she's in talks with Heidi.
Marilyn is with
the
museum. Okay.
And she's in talks with Heidi. Heidi was very interested in finding out, what was done before, and, I tried to get Marilyn to agree to, be with us, and then she said it's too soon, that she wasn't willing to.
To be with us, meaning to be part of like a subcommittee on.
She wants to be in talks with Heidi first.
Okay.
And then get back with us.
Okay.
So
That's fine.
I tried.
No worries. We're still kind of in the
Yeah.
figuring it out phase.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it would be it's probably unrealistic, but wouldn't it be fun to have a couple up before?
Yeah.
You'll be lucky if it's next hotel.
No. Okay. Anyone else, or are we gonna move on?
TK, just to help out, if you wanted to call Monday night online, I'll mention this wayfinding.
Oh, the
maybe
next meeting.
use it for stuff like this.
This coming
And
week.
I'm a council person, but there's nothing like the public input that really,
The 20th.
yeah, no, Monday
13th.
is like.
Six.
Yeah.
That Monday.
Today's only the
That
second.
one's the
And then
workshop.
the real,
Okay, I'm gonna make myself a note. So that's where I can submit like a
You could
comment?
call in and say, why have, what's the deal with the wayfinding?
call in, like, but don't have to fill out a comment?
You
I think
do,
Do
and
it
then,
online, don't you?
So
yeah,
fill
yeah, do it
out
online and,
comment request about,
try to do
opening
it
up the
early.
wayfinding
That
request.
way they,
okay.
They have two of them, usually one in the beginning, one at the end.
I
Okay,
know, but if
so
you're
about
zooming.
wayfinding and where is that at in
Yeah.
terms of branding downtown and all that? Because if the council's priority, or one of the priorities, is economic development downtown, I definitely think anything that can bring downtown a little bit more cohesive.
No, I like
Would be
the word
great.
economic development, so I'm gonna, but you know, I'm a little bit tired tonight, so I just,
I'm with
you
you.
have a real good way with your words.
Okay, okay, good stuff. We're moving on unless anyone else has anything on the public art banners. Okay. I don't know that we have any bridge update. I guess we have to wait for Ashton
Yeah.
now. Basically, we had some big ideas about lighting on the bridge. It's really expensive and very specialized, like super specialized. So getting quotes from like an electrician isn't going to work. You have to get like from someone who actually specializes in bridge lighting. There's not a lot of places that specialize in non-government organizations doing small bridge lighting. Normally it's like big contracts. So we are trying to write a grant, but we needed to have 3 quotes. So we got 2, I think. And then one of them was widely different than the other one. So so at this point we were just trying to figure out, instead of trying to do the big $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 project, we were just trying to figure out, can we replace the bulbs on the current bridge and do a timer, because it's on, the county is paying, or was the city paying for it?
No, it's
County.
County, and the county wanted a timer on it so that we're not having it on 24/7.
That's a good idea.
And, but we do want it because it does look nice to have white lights there year round. Does look nice. And maybe one day in the future we'll get what we want, which is the kind that we can change out each month a different color, like, you know, pink, whatever.
Yeah, one of the
white.
bids that he got, they just basically said, show me one of the others, and that's what I'll bid. And so Ashton didn't follow up with that. 'Cause that's kind of not exactly how that process works.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a big project, but the smaller project is the timer, just figuring out the timer. Yeah.
What's your phone?
You know, if you're gonna use,
It's
Oh,
all done,
thank you.
but then you just have to still attend.
Okay.
Your name's in here.
Okay.
so TK, you know what they did over there at the pavilion? They can turn those lights blue. I saw them, pink like Laura's jacket.
Yeah.
So they don't change them, the colors change.
Well, yeah, I know, that's the idea,
Yeah.
is the kind
Instead
that
of
we would
changing
do.
them out.
I've had this
Yeah.
car for 2 years.
Yeah, it would be really,
I mean, at least, because that's just a cheap method of doing that, you know, versus your $80,000, which is pretty nice, but it's extravagant. But if you were gonna do just the changing of the bulbs, maybe they could do some that can change an option of 2 or 3 colors. So different times of the year, you could just change the color, maybe
yeah, if we could
seasonally.
find the kind that was commercial grade, that was also the
Right,
problem of finding that commercial
Like a
grade.
white bulb is $800 and a color changing bulb is $1,000
But-
for one
but-
bulb for the commercial grade.
For the
From what I
commercial grade.
remember.
Oh,
Yeah.
so those ones in the pavilion are in a commercial grade? I just thought they were outside
No,
lights.
they were outside lights, but not commercial grade.
Yeah,
They're
and I
like-
think they were
residential
from
or
Costco.
Just for the
They're
bridge.
Edison lights is
Yeah.
what they're called.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's definitely a bigger project that we'd really like to do something with. I was gonna give a Heider project update.
No,
From Michael, I know,
Okay.
I'm
add it?
gonna add it,
We're
okay.
stalling.
So this is on the Heider building, which is right over there. Stuff has been happening.
But tell them which one, like, it's
The one that has the new windows and
Yeah.
it's
And the
been
fence
under
attached.
construction for a few years,
Just a few.
just a few years.
But it's got windows.
It has windows now. He said right now they're working on getting the windows upstairs, which should be relatively soon. And then the next step on that is plumbing, electrical, HVAC, fire suppression. And he said that timeline is really based on the places that he's reached out to and when they can come in and slot him in. he said originally the idea was the commercial spaces would be done before the apartments, but at this point it looks like they're both gonna be at the same time. He said late fall, but in 4 to 8 weeks, the idea is it's buttoned up, which means the fence will come down, the building will be closed, it will look nicer. Heidi and I talked to him about having a coming soon sign, which will say, like, maybe have a graphic that will show like apartments, maybe have his contact information about leasing for the bottom parts, and so that during hometown days it won't look like a constantly under construction property, but that'll actually be like, hey, look, this is coming soon. I talked to him about the fact that our grant agreement ends March of next year. He said, I think it's March 12th. Really don't quote me on that, but it is definitely
4/30/2025.
That was pretty close.
Completed by 4/30/2025.
Yeah.
I have it highlighted.
Yeah. So while we
Good
can
job.
extend that, I told him I would need to have a really definite heads up. He said he did not think in any way that it would need to be extended. He does not anticipate that in any way. And I know that it's gone a lot slower than all of us would like. But again, when I talked to Oregon Main Street guys and SHPO guys, they were all like, this is super normal, especially with older buildings, that you run into all manner of things, which he did. He had to do massive earthquake retrofitting and whatnot. So also the good news is he's now having a little bit more attention on the Huntley building. So yeah, which is also exciting. So the last thing we talked about was he was going to reach out to Oregon Main Street and let me know if he needed any help on this, but to reopen or resubmit the facade improvement grant, which they had before on it. It just hadn't got started, but it had been submitted, and then COVID happened and the funding went away. But this is the first that he's brought up the Huntley in any serious way for 2 years, so that was great. Yep, that's the update. Yeah, so he was hoping to get some photos on the Facebook page. He's not done that yet, but it would be really great if he did, because then if anyone has any questions, they'll be like, you can post there, and then I'm like, we're not trying to hold the information. It's just, yeah. And then once it's like buttoned up, it will look a lot better. It won't look as much under construction. Yeah.
Is he gonna put something in the windows, posters or something, so it looks a little more?
Well, what we were saying is some kind of signage, like nice signage that said coming soon, and had a picture, or like, those coming soon that says like what's going to be there, like an artist rendition. Exactly. And then we were saying, because then also that would be a great way to help like do a soft promotion of what's coming, and have people think about the fact that those are going to be some actually quite nice, unique apartments up there. When we did a walkthrough, they're like really neat looking with the big windows, and he's not going to make it look like any other apartment. It'll have the historical elements, which will make it really cool.
Question.
Yeah.
Do we have any reaches for the stores or restaurants, or is there anyone that's saying they want it?
What I understand is he still has a plan to have one of the main ones be a coffee shop. And I did not ask him this last time, because originally when he talked about it, he had a relative that was planning on moving into this area. I didn't ask him about that, but he knows like that is still, like we remind him, that is still the top priority in terms of the commercial units, was a coffee shop, cafe, whatever. And he did build that back space behind in that unit. He combined the 2 units that were downstairs, and that back space, that back room, which I forgot what it used to be, maybe it was part of an apartment or whatever, that is the kitchen. So there is a kitchen space. Could have like a cafe. I know they kind of made that last coffee shop into kind of a little cafe, but they had problems with the kitchen, but this is much bigger. So I think the idea is that, yes, it could be coffee shop, cafe, bakery, something like that.
When he kind of buttons it up, is it possible our group could get a tour at some point?
I think so.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, he had fun showing it off when I was there before, so, yeah. You wanna have me reach out to him and see about scheduling the tour in the next couple months?
Sure.
Maybe the city council would like to tour it as well. We can invite all the city
And
council.
I've talked to Michael Colwood because I have an interesting situation that I was asking some of his information, but I did say that my situation would really complement his commercial businesses downtown.
This is because for everyone, her building is right next to his.
Yes, and I'm just trying to get a bunch of others, kind of like in the queue, but I'm trying to take on that winery project that my son-in-law was doing. But I gotta get some stuff done first so I can put 130% into it. And I only got like 30% right now. I'm not running on enough. But I did tell him about it so that we could complement each other, because that would be a great complement to his commercial businesses. And I have found a tenant for one of his upstairs apartments already. And I told him, obviously, they always like it when you work for free, that I would solicit it for free for him because I get a lot of people calling my office. And the same way with the commercial businesses, if he can just cue it in a little bit more, because I need to know. I think each one's supposed to be, I thought he said at one time, 2,000 square foot, because they're long and rectangular.
The apartments?
No,
The commercial pieces downstairs. And then I need to talk him into a realistic rent, because we're Sheridan, Oregon, on the brink of growing, but right now we need help bringing businesses into town, and the only way to do that is to give somebody a break by coming in. So I've had a couple conversations with him promoting that. Of course, I'll work for him for free if he can help me figure out how to maneuver this situation that I have, because I need somebody to help me and I just can't do it all.
Okay, well, that's good. That would be great.
So, and my client's from Portland, and she lives in the Portland area, and she said, well, one of those apartments would be done upstairs. So, and he was very happy to hear that he might be able to already, if he can help people out like that.
That's why the coming soon,
Mhm.
people will start getting interested in reaching out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe since he gets super busy, maybe he could even hire you to take the inquiries or something.
Well, I would just do it. I'd just do it for him, because a lot of those things take a license, but nothing's better than free, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's do beer.
Okay, good.
Yeah, let's start doing the beer garden.
Okay, beer garden. Okay, great. So we had a meeting, which was like, I don't know, an hour and a half, something like that, a couple weeks ago. And we made a big Google Doc where we had a lot of back and forth on it. Is everyone who is involved in this project shared on that Google Doc? Is there anyone that we missed that wants to be involved with this? So this is for Hometown Days. One of their main fundraiser for the year that gets funding for this group is the beer garden and
This year
food, yeah, which will be in the parking lot of the Mercantile down there.
And Ashton, on the cleanup day, Ashton and I and Alicia went over there to kind of map it out more or less. And she said the store is still going to be open that morning till like 11 or something like that. So we thought that the best thing to do would be to put the orange barricade stuff that Hometown Days people have, run it from across the street. There's a utility pole. We can run it to her fence line where the chain link is, and then block off the front street too, so that the beer garden will be in the same place, and then the entry will be on the street itself, and so then the whole area will be fenced off, so that we'll have that whole parking lot.
But kids will be allowed to go in.
Kids will be allowed to go in, and we'll have to get wristbands, and so the checking at the front gate.
Okay.
The front gate will be to check IDs and have wristbands applied then, so that they don't have to have them when they go to the bar itself.
Okay.
And that way that'll speed up serving, make it less complicated. We will probably need warm bodies to be walking and monitoring, making sure that the people with the
John
wristbands-
said that he would help. He just has to help set up one booth beforehand or something like that, but he said he'd be available in the afternoon. I said I would do the Italian sodas, which I do think are gonna be popular.
Yeah.
Because not
Yeah.
everyone's gonna wanna drink and they're nice and
Right.
refreshing.
Right.
And so, yes,
So I think it'll be better this year being more open
yeah,
and being more inviting but again, it's gonna take more bodies
okay.
because we are gonna need
So
people.
part
to-
of it is just, we're gonna have to figure out the volunteer list and then put out a request about how many volunteers.
Right.
Do we wanna jump into the boosters?
Well, our main concern is, of course, there's only 4 of us on boosters. It's
We're gonna
ridiculous.
beat by 1.
There's 2 of them that actually went off because they have, one has a senior, Maryland has a senior this year. I have a senior this year, but I still have 2 more kids in school. So, then one of the other moms wants off because her daughter's gonna be a senior next year. So I get it. But that is our struggle, trying to figure out, because if we're in the beer garden, we can't have any of the kids help.
No, you
Correct?
can.
You
Oh,
can.
We can?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so I think that's our big, because here's the
Okay,
other thing, is so the boosters they can apply for $1,000 to go to whatever sport, but these kids have to work in the concessions to help in order to gain that money, because it's not fair for the same people to be stuck, which is only the people on the board, no other parents help. If I didn't step in to be the vice president, we wouldn't have boosters next year.
So the kids could come in and run
Yeah.
are you
'Cause
talking
they-
about hot dogs, hamburgers?
Well, that's the thing.
We were talking more of a Mexican thing, like walking tacos,
Yeah,
Right.
which is really
Right.
easy to do.
Correct.
Nachos, which I already know the boosters do.
Churches United is going to do walking tacos.
Yes,
Yeah.
And they're at First Federal.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
So,
even
I mean,
if
we're pretty much open to anything. It was more or less, we were just worried about, if the kids could help, if the school kids could
Yes,
help.
they
if this
can.
wasn't
They
just gonna be
definitely-
stuck.
They just
Yes.
can't
They can't-
serve alcohol.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
There
Okay.
can be no alcohol in the concession.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have the alcohol in one
Yeah.
section, and then maybe the Italian sodas in another, and then
The food will be
The
on the
food.
street, because that.
within the fence, but on
Right,
the
right,
street.
on, yes, on,
Okay.
yeah, on the
Tempt
side
everybody
street.
with some good.
Right, trying to get them to come in, and that's the idea, is if we have
Where's
barbecue
where's
going,
the music?
the music is
It's
right,
also on that.
it's on, the music is in front of the doors.
Mhm.
Like, so if you're facing the mercantile,
Oh, yeah.
there's the chain link
Yeah.
fence, so they would be right.
Oh, they're going on that side.
They're
Yeah, and then
facing
facing
the
the street.
Oh, okay.
And so then the food carts and barbecue and whatnot are actually physically on the street.
Yeah.
And then the beer garden is around next to the front of the stage is probably like the front of the gate, the fence
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So that's, yes.
Flipping direction.
So,
Yes, so that the van is
Yeah.
facing outward.
so you just have to decide what you're going to serve.
Correct.
Right.
That's.
And then are we serving food still?
We're talking just hot dogs, not hamburgers, just hot dogs, barbecued hot dogs.
Okay,
but
but
we can
maybe
do-
two
I
different
mean, there's no
kinds
reason
of
we
hot
can't do
dogs, like
hamburgers.
Polish and a,
Yeah, well, it's just, if you're going to Costco to buy, or not Costco, if you go to cash and carry, it's easier if you are just buying.
So we are
Yeah.
talking about also doing food?
Right.
you got
Yeah, we've been
a
talking
food
about that for a
handy.
long
I'll get my
and
food.
We're
Yeah.
doing
Oh.
food.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I'm just saying,
I mean,
you
I-
guys, I know I wasn't there last year, but I know that the main thing was it was a lot of work. So if we can have the food be totally run by another group, we should have the food be totally run by another group.
We haven't found another group. We've been trying to find
But
another group.
are
We have
you-
one, but we wanted
We
three
need
food
three?
vendors. We wanted,
Oh, what
well,
about your,
Well, that's the thing, my daughter,
right, and your daughter.
and I never got a hold of, I tried to
That was the third one.
tune into your Zoom.
Yeah.
And all I ever saw was an email, so I never heard anything. So
I just said that she should just put together what her demo or
Okay,
sample
so
menu
did
would
she
be.
say she wanna have a spot that's maybe 10 foot by, is that what she needs to do, is maybe say I need a 10 foot by 10 foot, and maybe one plug-in, because I think Alicia said that somebody could maybe use an extension from her building.
We're gonna
So
have
is that what I
to.
just
Yeah.
need to tell her, because
Yeah,
I
but
just
I
need to tell
think,
her.
if she just wants to email me and I'll share it with the rest of them, our only worry was that her prices might not be something that is within.
No, because she can critique them down to whatever.
Okay, good.
Right.
Then I think that was the only
Right.
concern. If she wants to do it And especially if it's something kind of cool,
Unique.
like the
It would be different, but I think-
crawfish boil, which we all were like, that sounds awesome.
If they're in
I would eat
season,
it, but that sounds awesome.
if they're in season, but she will critique it to whatever is in
Okay.
season for her. And then if, is this your email? Is this where I would have her, or does she have your email? Did you talk to her
I
already?
think I emailed her.
Okay, so,
I emailed both of you.
because this one I think is just says revitalization Sheridan at Gmail, or do you have your own?
Revitalizesheridan@gmail.com, that goes to me.
Okay, does that come to you? Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it goes to you, if it goes to everybody,
That goes to
if she
me.
wanted to talk to you specifically.
That goes to me, that's
Okay,
fine.
that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah,
So.
She's at a catering right now, so I couldn't get her to come down here
okay,
tonight, so.
but Ashton, that's all that we wanted, right, was just making sure that it would fit the expenses, people being able to buy it, right? There was no other reason. Yeah, okay, good, then that's two, potentially.
Right, so Norma was thinking of doing a crawfish boil, we were thinking of doing hot dogs, that left you with, what was I saying?
Oh, okay.
Mexican
Whatever.
theme,
Oh,
just to give it a different
Right.
something.
My biggest fear is that we run out of hot dogs, or the crawfish boil has a problem, or we can't, right? And if we, at any time, we don't have two
Oh,
different things
pizza.
being served.
I
then
thought
we're
the
done.
ladder
It's
truck.
gonna close down.
They didn't
We
want the
shut
ladder
down the
truck.
pizza idea?
Yeah,
they're
the ladder truck.
ludicrously expensive, and
no
they stayed
ladder.
there
It
for
was
Well,
really.
2 hours. It was ridiculous. It was
But we
terrible.
don't want them.
We don't
One
want
of the
that.
things
No.
we
No
also.
interest.
No, the pizza
Right,
here.
is to talk about.
Like Figaro's?
Figaro's, maybe you guys could sell pizza by the slice
Yeah,
and just keep Figaro's going every couple of, once, and you get the little warming ovens,
right.
and that would be really easy
That
for the
would be
kids
really
to sell.
easy.
Okay.
Just to
Yeah, so
resell.
we're supposed to have a meeting Tuesday. But I told Marilyn I'll text her after this.
Okay.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah,
Okay,
because-
so pizza, that's simple. You just have to coordinate directly with them
And the
and.
kids can be the runners back and
Yeah,
forth.
oh, that's a
Yeah.
great idea.
You
That
know.
gives them a nice challenge without too much. Don't have to worry about cooking anything.
Mhm.
Right.
And then we have the
supporting
crawfish, and then you're
And that's
saying for
local.
we would
Right.
do hot
Hot
dogs.
dogs. And,
So
right,
which
we
means
would-
we need to have a grill and we need to have volunteers. You have a grill?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I
Matt,
have a
doesn't
grill,
Matt?
Yeah.
It's
And
Matt.
then, and Matt has one.
We have a grill also, Matt Hughley has huge massive grills from the old home tip from the Sheridan days.
Right,
Oh, okay.
That we'd have to look at, and they're like attached to trailers, so we could just go pick those up.
Okay,
right.
so,
Jason, that's something we could just look at if you want.
okay.
Yeah.
So are we happy with the food potential then?
Can I
with the
ask
three.
one thing?
Yeah.
Were you planning on selling beverage? Nope. Okay.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
in
So
my
we would
email,
just
I asked them
handle,
not to.
we would handle all the water,
Water, right.
the Italian soda, the beer and the wine?
Wine.
Okay,
Right.
okay, good.
Good.
Okay.
I
Okay,
still
good.
don't personally like the idea of just hot dogs, but we can figure that. It doesn't matter right now. We
It's
can figure it
not
out
just
later.
hot dogs. It's-
Well, I just
What?
wanna make sure
Nobody
too
likes
that
a
you
hot
don't have your hopes up
Well,
for
we can
the
do-
products, because she can only get those if they're in season.
Right,
She
right.
makes
I will
something,
say Jason and I are
she
both
makes
cool.
something like what they serve.
Your
in
what?
Walmart. She will make something.
We can do hamburgers until they run out.
That's fine. I just didn't wanna,
We can.
I just
That's
did,
not
I just
any
don't
more
wanna shoot
complicated.
so much for the stars that we end up,
Right,
Making it.
but, I mean, if we say cash, it's not called cash and carry anymore. I put that on the.
Yeah,
thing.
I do think, guys, there's just no way we're gonna have to do another hour or two Zoom meeting or in-person meeting. Ideally, honestly, it's have another meeting at the location.
Sure.
So why don't I just send out a separate email? Does anyone else want to be part of it? I'll jump up.
I don't know what you mean by part of it, but I'm happy to volunteer. to do
I
that.
really
Oh,
think-
good.
go.
Remy's gonna
I'm
volunteer.
not sure we can
I
go
think
through
we
all
we
that
just
we
need a
need to
couple
talk
volunteer
about.
hours, like for setup and, well, we need a bunch of volunteer hours, right? We need setup, we need someone, entrances, splash exit or whatever. We
Yeah.
need,
Right,
Yeah.
and if we're gonna do a grill, like, if Jason or I are grilling the whole time, like, we might need a break or, just someone to just be
I know,
there,
I know.
cashier, whatever.
How about everyone that's part of this goes on the Google Doc within the next couple of days, reviews everything and makes sure that there's nothing else that we need to sort out. And then we maybe have one last meeting there and just walk through it again.
Well, and then tonight we can, whoever's here that wants to volunteer, we can do the shifts for the check-in.
Okay.
Cause I had it written down on the paper and 2-hour shifts. I had, here, 11 to 1, 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 7, and 7 to 9. That's what we did for the gatekeeper
Yeah.
to be in 2-hour shifts.
When's the parade? Is that?
The parade is at 6.
6.
You just
Yeah.
put me down for the whole time.
Yeah, because, I mean, I'm helping with set up the parade.
Okay.
So, I have a time slot for the Rotary concession trail, but I'll look at the schedule and see if I can float it.
And I have, well, if you want to float in, you can be the one that wanders around and
Okay,
monitors to
sure,
make sure that
sure.
people aren't drinking. I have a girlfriend that will do the 3 to 5 with me.
I'll
So-
do gatekeeper 1 to 3.
1 to
Me,
3?
My husband and
Okay,
I.
so Dorothea is on the 1 to 3, and
Let's
it's the
see
3
what-
to 5.
You stick me for the whole time.
Okay, so
From start to
TK
It's
is
Saturday only, right?
Yeah,
You're
Saturday
doing,
only.
Except,
I'll just be
You're
laying
doing
there.
drinks, Italian sodas in the parking lot.
I just want to, yeah, and we should.
I'll be there to set up during the whole take and take
So
down.
I would like to know
Yeah.
who's gonna get this, who's gonna get
I
that.
think that's gonna have to be,
Right.
so I think what we'll just do is, guys,
Right.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna have Ashton, we're gonna have everyone that's involved, please check the Google Doc, review it one more time, and then tonight, ideally, yeah. And then, by Monday, I'm gonna send an email around to try to coordinate our final meeting, where we're going to hopefully have good weather and walk the parking lot, and then make sure that Susan's happy with everything we're doing. We sort out the volunteers, we know how many I need to help recruit and all of that, and make all those final decisions. Is there anything that we have to do right away, like the
Yeah,
permits?
the permits.
Ashton
Yeah,
House?
yeah. Oh, go ahead, Ash.
Yeah, was that something you were gonna work on? Ashton?
He has not sent it, but he did get the info, so I forget
There's
exactly what the
2.
state is. Yeah, there's. It
Ashton,
will
are
be
you
done
hearing
probably
us?
this week. I can't remember what the exact.
You wanna make sure that.
Yeah, I'll follow up.
Okay, good. Okay, great. Okay, good. So that we have enough time to discuss anything else, we're gonna end on the beer garden. Is that okay? Anything else we want to talk about?
Unless we have anybody that wants to volunteer the 5 to 7.
You got
7 to
Remy?
9. Yeah, Remy's doing the 11 to 1. shift.
Okay. Oh, and John, I'll tell you, John wrote me when he wanted to do his.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're
I
good.
just
Okay.
can't find his email.
I do want to say one thing. I talked to Raj in the Center Market store in Willamina, and he's willing to do the same thing I did for the Monroe, where we pick all the stuff up for the beer and maybe
Return
the
and-
soda
yeah,
pop.
Right.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have Italian soda syrup. We'd have to get
No,
it.
we'll just,
fresh.
I'll figure
Yeah.
that out.
So he's willing to do that, where we pick it up and we bring back what we don't sell, as long as they're not open, and then, like if it's a 6-pack,
That
it
works
has
out
to be a
great.
6-pack.
Yeah. that
John
makes sense.
basically said that he can do it anytime from noon until the evening. He just said so why don't you put him
Put him-
down as like,
7 to 9, put him at the very end, or 5 to 7.
I think he could do either, but maybe just say he can do a slot, either one, and then we'll slot him in the one that is the
I'll put
most.
him, I'll put him on the 5 to
least
7, because
popular.
I can always do the 7 to 9 as well.
Okay, cool. So
And do you say you have wristbands already?
I may have, I gotta look.
Okay.
If
okay,
not, they're not expensive.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I have some.
I'll get the insurance like I did last year.
great. Okay, good. So now we're gonna end on that. We know we need to meet again. We'll sort that out. Update from city council. We have 2 from city council. Do either one of you want to do an update? We usually just like to kind of, since we usually have a city council member here, we usually just get an update on how things are going. Anything particularly that's related to revitalization, like an update on the.
So I'm gonna get a little fifty, she's young, but he's gonna be my backup. So they cleared out 127 and Morgan Street this week, so they're completely gutted out those 2 houses. And
These are city-owned houses.
City-owned houses.
Okay.
And I am heavily promoting 127 Mill Street to be the resource center. It has to be voted on, it has to be whatever, but the houses are cleaned out so they can do an evaluation. I'm only focusing on 127 because it's right across from City Hall. The portable showers can fit in there. I have contractors who will remodel it. And despite a couple, not you, criticisms from somebody on the council, they said that if the city could, poop and get off the pot, they could get it done in 3 weeks for a resource center.
How much would that cost?
Well, that depends on what the city can't, they haven't even decided to use it. I'm trying to promote that building because I
There's
think it would be a
there's
great.
no funding for that.
I've had 2 people ask me if they could buy the Morgan Street property that one of the council members wants to burn down, but if you sold it, you'd have enough money to fix the house, sell that property, and the city would come out ahead thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to, that's where I'm going on Monday, to the workshop.
Okay.
But there's other things on the council too, that's my big.
Does anyone have an update on the, I'm not trying to call it Stonehenge anymore, what are we calling it? Waterfront Park?
I did ask the city about 106 and continual fines for just things that he's done, and we're supposed to be talking about that on Monday. That has to do with 106, the building that collapsed right down there. And I know they tore down the little garage in the back so they can get ready to set up where they're going to put the real restrooms for that. And you know, just because they are trying to
The restrooms for the park.
For the park,
which will eventually
be right
which
over
will
here.
eventually be over there, with the idea of having like a mini amphitheater and a boat launch to actually have a usable waterfront.
The music would be on top where the pavilion's at. But the thing of it is that I learned at this Access River meeting that I went to, which was last month, wasn't it?
Yep.
Is that, you know, just because they call it a river access and they're saying, oh, it might take, and I think we could probably get it down to 1 to 3 years or sooner, because Sheridan already has a lot of stuff in place. The thing of it is, people can still put their boats in the river. What river access will do, it'll put Sheridan on the tourist map for people to go to have a designated area to launch. Like Maupin, Oregon, if you ever go whitewater rafting, which I do, it will be a designated area. And I think that people are getting really confused that if they don't get this river access, nobody can go take their boats down to the river, and that is propaganda bullshit.
So
You can still
right
take them down.
you already can.
You can, but I think people think because it's not, you know, it's going to take 1 to 3, or one guy said 10, you know.
So
crazy.
meaning once the bathrooms go in there and we can do some nice promotion about the fact that this can be used for
You
that?
could go down there this summer and put your raft in there. You know, the thing of it is, between here and Little Minor, people own property and they're not as kind as they used to be when I was a kid. They don't want you on their property. The city does own some property, and I have been trying to, at our river, K, you know, we were trying to see if we could wait for the weather to get better to weed whack the trail so people can put their boats in, but you could do it in Little Minor. But the river access is to put Sheridan on the map as a tourist town where people can come from Grand Ronde, Willamina,
To
Sheridan,
drop,
Amity,
yeah.
all the way down to Newburgh.
So you're saying there's no problem with starting to talk about that, we don't have to wait for anything else, it's still that, it's just can only get better with doing the improvements?
That's right.
Okay, tracking. But the idea would be, we're still looking at the art potential for.
The art potential is a separate thing.
Separate.
That would complement that.
Okay,
yes.
because there's the Parks and Rec or the riverfront.
The riverfront was trying to work
So there's a
on,
riverfront group that's just focusing on that.
just
There's
on that
the
part.
city art committee thingy, which was gonna look at the
as
fishy
one,
things.
yes, as one thing.
Okay.
With
and-
murals
and
also.
the Parks and Rec is handling the other park, okay.
Yeah, the park, the big parks,
Okay.
and the big city park, and the little dog
It needs
park.
like a diagram of all the different things, there's a lot of groups.
There's so much, that's why
I
they
mean,
have
that's
these
great,
little,
that's great, there's so many projects.
that's why they have these little subcommittees, because there's so many things. How many arms and legs do you have to be everywhere at once?
I mean, a few years ago, we didn't have all of
We had
this.
nothing.
So this is exciting.
It is very exciting.
Yeah, stuff is happening.
Yes, stuff is happening.
And so, anything else, Ian, anything?
All I can think of is that when we went to the river meeting, the riverfront meeting, it seemed a lot like they were saying something like 9 years was for like the most amount of development. Like if they were developing a site that was untapped.
Yes.
And so we have a lot of things going for us.
Yes.
For instance, so we have a lot of silt that's slipped down the hills, so it's covered an existing site. And so we were talking to one of the parks guys, that there's a potential that we could remove the silt without necessarily having to address the archaeological digs or whatever they're talking about. Just because it's just silt that's come down.
That's the soil, right? That's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And so there was a variety of other things we were talking about, the city was talking about at one, before I got on about doing some sort of retention wall to keep the river from eroding more. And there's a potential of integrating that into some riverfront, larger plan.
The erosion is from 106 that's
Right.
making
Oh,
ebb tides,
okay.
which is going to
Oh.
affect the pavilion.
Yeah.
So they want to put a retaining wall in there, so when that building goes, and if it falls into the bridge, then the county will definitely jump on that guy.
Is the reason why that can't be done right away is because the guy still owns?
No, it's
it,
because
or-
you have to have everything engineered,
Okay.
and they've got it
does he-
engineered.
Does he still own that property?
Oh,
Is he
yeah.
still fighting the city on?
Stonehenge is just his own separate entity. We're building regardless with him so that he cannot jeopardize what the city already
So
owns.
basically is like the city can do what they need to do to protect
That's right.
property. And he's not really doing anything, so that's just gonna happen.
No, his property is, if you knew the difference, I think my brother Ernie was saying, yet another brother, is that I think that the ebb tides have taken those pilings down at least 3 feet
Wow.
from where they were.
Wow.
Yeah, and so if it's come down 3 feet, pretty soon you're gonna hit dirt. And then when the big river comes, guess what's gonna happen to those pilings?
Ooh.
And that's all I want the city to do, is to be aware of that, because this guy knows this, and he's just saying,
But would, if he were to be pressured by citizens in the town to do something about it, what would that be? Would that
Well-
be giving it to the city and then the city could do something about it?
I think he was, wanting to sell it for some, remember, he only paid
Yeah,
$25,000 for that.
remember.
So he doesn't want to sell it for that. He thinks he's sitting on a gold mine because he thinks we need it, but we don't. So the thing of it is, at the last city council meeting, during council comments, I commented on that, what are we doing about 106 and what his neglect in his property ownership. And I'm thinking that's what we'll talk about at the workshop on Monday also. Should be,
Okay.
hopefully.
Okay.
How long is the workshop? Sounds like a long
Probably
meeting.
a long.
It can be from,
Yeah.
I've seen it, 7 to 11, but we're trying to curb her down to 9:30, but this is what happens when you have great things happening in a little community that nobody's ever done anything or cared about before.
Exciting.
It
Okay,
is exciting.
Cool. Okay, anything
Open
else?
comments.
Anything else? I forgot, I was supposed to give an update on the task force. Anything else from the council? No?
I mean, excuse me, not for me, Ian. I'm sorry, Ian, I'm done talking, I'm sorry.
I did visit the facility in McMinnville that's are you talking, which task force are you talking about?
We were
Homeless.
supposed to rename it to Resource Center? Yeah, Resource
So
Center. Provoking Hope. You visited Provoking Hope in that?
No, Provoking Hope is not the actual facility that the city,
Oh, the hotel thingy.
yeah, the hotel
Yes.
thing, the old Motel 6, yeah.
Oh,
I
you went up
visited
there?
the facility.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
It was interesting. It seemed like they had a nice, from what, the fellow that I was talking to was a former resident and then now employee.
Okay.
And it seemed like they had a good idea and that everything there was set up well as far as like the programs and stuff. I also talked to the manager at the Best Western next door to kind of hear like, do you guys get like police calls in here? What's going on? And she said that it's not the greatest, but it's not so bad that like they have to call the police. So I thought that's must be good to have, for the neighbors to not have to call the police there.
Yeah.
I've heard that there's drugs sold there and stuff, but I feel like it's kind of going to happen anywhere, but I don't know. But overall, it seemed like a good facility. I don't know if I would overall agree with how everything went down, but I did visit it.
Okay.
So,
So this was the money that originally there was
yes.
it's not a
225.
grant, it was a 225, it wasn't a grant, it was another word for it, not a grant, but it was like it's like similar to that, yeah. But that the city was given from the state to be able to do something to build a shelter. They decided to not do the shelter, they didn't want to they want to try to keep it in the community, and then they worked out with YCAP? Not YCAP.
YCAP is like they supervise kind of what's going on there, and that gives them some more legitimacy.
Okay.
This is a private, I'm guessing it's a nonprofit business that does this.
This does it, it's like
It's like housing and counseling.
Okay, cool. Okay, great, yeah, so that's that. From the task force, which we did have another name for it, but I forgot what it was. We were switching from the homeless thing because one of the things in being on this for the last few months, I don't want to say that there are no homeless here, but certainly in terms of issues in town, it's not the one that we felt should be the most focused on. And Deputy Brady had a really interesting, impactful statement, which I think I said last meeting, was don't wait until you've got homeless, because once you have the first night homeless, it's very hard to recover someone from that emotional situation. So you want to look earlier, look when you've got someone that's at risk for being homeless, look at the single mother who can't afford her rent, look at the person who can't get a job, the person that has substance abuse issues. What can you do for them earlier? What supports can you provide earlier? What community groups, what can you do earlier? So that's why we started looking at Provoking Hope. It wouldn't cost the city anything. They wanted to come back into the area, so we were just trying to be a support to try to find a location for them. The idea was eventually to look at the Legion. They're sorting out some issues on that, so temporarily it's going to be at City Hall starting, I think it started, did it start? On Wednesday.
I believe it started.
Yeah. So it started on Wednesday for 3 days a week at the City Hall, and the idea being to have, I think they're called mentors with Provoking Hope. And one thing that I was talking to Diane, who runs Provoking Hope, I think she runs Provoking Hope, was we want to make sure that the messaging that's being communicated to citizens of Sheridan is that this is not just for people who have substance abuse issues. The wraparound services, which are connections to clothing for jobs, for housing, like low-income housing vouchers, for parenting classes, stuff that's child abuse prevention, all of that stuff is available to anyone. You don't have to have a substance abuse issue. Yes, that is definitely something that they are experts in, but that's not the one of the things we want to really make sure their messaging is that. And our next meeting we had to delay it because Heidi's got a lot going on right now with the budget. And so our meeting's at the end of the month, and we'll find out how it's going at the city, and then we'll reconnect on how things are going with the Legion. But that's the.
And also they do mental health evaluations at Provoking Hope, which is a very useful tool because that's not always substance abuse either. It's a form that goes into different venues. Yeah. And when the housing authority asked, basically they asked if they could have our 225 once we knew we couldn't use it to fix the little house, because that's what we were looking into.
Yeah.
Because it was it's not a shelter, but it was a facility to facilitate. And they looked through and they said, no, you can't do it. So they said, if you could gift your money to us, I'm just going to say gift because it sounds good.
Appropriate.
Then they would try to appropriate 2 rooms in the hotel for Sheridan. Each room has,
like a sub-grant.
Yeah. Like we could try to give a good word or whatever, that they would have 2 rooms with 2 beds. That's 4 people from Sheridan.
Yeah.
That if they're homeless, they would be a homeless shelter for them.
Oh,
yeah, it's like right next to the gas station.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you say it was a Motel 6?
It was a Motel 6.
Is there anything on there now?
It's not a hotel now.
No, but I mean, does it say?
No.
So what I liked about the housing task force is that I feel like after a lot of conversation and a lot of listening to different groups and doing research, we all pretty much came up with the conclusion that Provoking Hope coming back was a good idea, but that also one of the next steps would be having an open house / the town hall, to allow people to, if it's the Legion, to tour the Legion, to ask questions, to have city council members there, to have Provoking Hope representatives there, ask all the questions that they want, to look at the program, to look at the brochures, and to really feel like this is something that can help Sheridan as a whole. There's not some secret conspiracy, there's not some other plan, but we're all in it because we give a crap, and that this seemed like a good idea.
Everybody has the right to be safe and warm.
So I'll say this, just to finish what I was saying earlier. I guess we got caught up talking about that, but I also heard a statistic during that same meeting from
70-something%.
79%.
I've tried to track that down.
I did track it down. So
Oh, you did?
I did. I contacted Matthew Kintner, who is the Yamhill Child Welfare Branch Program Manager from DHS. So he is specifically in charge of Yamhill County's Child Welfare Branch Program Manager. So he sent me some PDFs of statistics in the West Valley.
Okay.
And that is 79%. I'm not sure what she means by that, if it's the calls or whatever, but actual cases of child abuse that are recorded. They have age groups and locations and stuff in these statistics. I'm happy to share them with you guys.
Yeah, I would love that.
So wait, what was the 79%?
Diane was saying, and I believe, and I could be wrong, the exact wording, but it was like 79% of the calls to DHS about child abuse come from the West Valley. Wow. And I believe that was in
Yamhill County.
Which I
Meaning
was
the
shocked.
West Valley would be
Right.
part of Grand Ronde, part of
Yes.
Willamina and Sheridan.
Perrydale, I think, maybe, or maybe not. But
Yeah.
either way,
It was a
that's not the
sobering-
case at all. We have, what the statistics said from DHS was something like 8 cases that were actually attended to.
Okay.
And then I think Willamina had maybe 4 or something, but collectively it was still way less than McMinnville.
Did he say calls?
I don't know if it was calls. I can email you the PDFs though.
Okay,
These
yeah,
are
because she
verified-
did.
These
she
are
did say-
verified cases.
Yeah, she did say
So the verified
calls.
cases, okay.
Yeah,
I'd
she
like
did
to
say
see that.
calls.
Yeah, so that was like a shocking number to hear.
Yeah.
So I just checked up on it.
Wow.
and that
Okay,
was
good, yeah.
definitely-
And it
I-
was not a valid number.
Well, it might be
it's-
calls, but
In terms of
actual verified cases of child abuse from DHS, I have those statistics.
Yeah,
For
do
the
you have
last
my
4
email
years,
address?
I think.
Do you have my email address?
I don't believe so, but I'll
Okay.
get it from you.
Okay, great. Yeah, I would love to see those. I emailed, you had a better idea. I emailed Juliet's house twice.
Oh, really?
I figured that they might have
Yeah.
it, but I never got an email response, so.
I figured I had a city email and I might be able to throw some weight around. So
Got it.
I don't know if it worked.
I think it did. Yeah.
So, TK, what is the issue with the American Legion in using
They,
it?
I was out of the country during that meeting, but what I understand it to be was that, and if everyone has to go, I know we're over time. I don't mind going longer though, but, is that when Provoking Hope was last here,
They
one
were
of the
Oddfellows.
they were at Oddfellows, and the ending of that was not great. I think one of the persons that was running it might have relapsed, which I guess can happen considering that, the people that work there are usually recovering addicts or recovered addicts. And it just didn't end great, so it left a bad taste in some people's mouths. So they have some PR work to do, and that part of that was working with the Legion and making sure that everyone that was with the Legion was in agreement with this and all of that. Also, the upstairs needs to be reopened at the Legion, and the idea was it would work for both the Legion and Provoking Hope to have more privacy for the people that were going to do the mentoring, for any parenting classes, for the kids classes, that kind of stuff. Having more private as opposed to a big open space would work better. So there's a bit of work and more conversation that has to be had. I'm not privy to all of that. That's being done, I think, with Heidi, Diane, and the Legion person, Bobby. Yeah. So, but the idea is that it could potentially be there. They just need to sort out.
That'd be great. But
Yeah.
the upstairs definitely needs work.
Yeah, yeah, and I think we had discussed if we had a list of what needs to be done, we can do a call out for maybe Brad can donate some boards, or maybe some carpenters can donate their time, and we can knock out a bunch of whatever needs to be done, but we need to know a list of what needs to be done. But we can do a whole community call out for help. But I think part of that has to be the town hall open house, because I think people need to understand what this group is about, that it's something that can benefit the town. What are the different projects that it's not just for people who have substance abuse? I know that they shared a few promotion things on Facebook today. I reached out to Diane. I was like, this is not what we had originally talked about in terms of making sure that we were saying that this was, you don't have to have a substance abuse issue. This is open for anyone. So I think that they're correcting the wording on that to make sure that it's more inclusive on that point. Okay, open comments period. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will just say, Ashton says he's gonna make a website for Yard of the Month. So we
Ashton?
can-
Ashton, are you there?
I'm still here.
Okay.
Website
Yard of the Month.
All right, he's getting.
Website Yard of the Month.
Yes, and to start that program, which is super exciting. That
Yeah,
yeah.
if he gets the website up and going, I'll put a notice in the bulletin board.
Yay! I love that. I think
We'll have it done tonight.
I think positive reinforcement is always going to be the best way to go.
Is
you
this
know?
from the revitalization group or
Yeah.
from another one?
No.
Yeah, no.
Fabulous.
Just, yeah, through revitalization.
Yeah, that's exciting. Okay, cool.
Wow.
We're very excited about that.
That will help balance out the code enforcement.
Yeah.
Because the code enforcement's there to improve, but then we get to compliment people who are, maybe that'll help.
I think a positive
Encourage
reinforcement,
positive.
as much as possible, is always the best way to go about it. Stay on the positive, but I know that there's definitely going to be times when code enforcement will be needed, but positive is good.
If Dorothea's still there, thank you so much for your help. And Kay was also super helpful on the trash pickup. I missed it. But you ladies were super helpful, made it happen. Thank you very much.
Yay! Thank you guys. Yay. Okay. Any other comments before we knock? Yes, Ian.
I don't know if you folks or any of you folks here know Chris Durg, but I'd be willing to reach out to him or try to connect you guys with him. He owns Mac Daddy Donuts and has a cart that he takes all over.
I love Mac Daddy down there.
Yeah.
Chris Durin?
Durg.
Do they own the farm?
No.
They don't own the farm.
No, he was managing there briefly, but
Okay.
I think
That fun. Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
I would
that'd be
love
good.
it. I will give you my
That would
email
be
address.
great.
You have my email address, and then yeah.
Is it okay if he serves coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need coffee.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be great.
That's
Donuts.
I know it's a liquid, but you know,
Donuts,
donuts and coffee.
Actually, coffee's good for
Donuts.
having a beer garden.
I mean,
If somebody
No,
gets
Robinson will
overly,
reach out to
Yeah.
that would be awesome. That would be great.
I'm
Um,
sure
If they don't need it, we will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
And that's really exciting that he has a cart, actually.
Yeah. He takes it over to Lowe's all the time.
Does he
Is it a
do-
coffee cart too?
Does he do like private events?
Right.
Yes, because he does the pumpkin shoot thing out at
Mm.
Oh, Heider.
Heider's. He goes out there. I see him out there all the
That would be-
time. So.
That
so
would
is
be
it
a
donuts and
score.
coffee, that's it?
That would be,
Yeah.
that'd
Okay,
be a
so
score.
that would be great, but it's not a significant food.
Well, we
No,
have
it
lots
would
of
be
those.
good. No,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
it could be
and
a draw for
gas.
kids.
You
Anything
bet.
else?
Staple bars once.
You're
Yes,
putting
I
on
reach
the
out to his
corner
the
of
owner of
I
Hawaii
think I
I think that'd be great.
Maple
Hawaii
and bacon.
503.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. They have a cart?
And by the
He
way,
he was
I'm donating
solely in
my
the cart for a
part
long
of
time. I
the-
don't know if he still has it.
Okay.
Do you know him?
tips
I
this
do.
year.
Oh.
Last year I had no money. So
Yay.
I don't know
Okay,
about,
it's
I don't know
not
about
like
Jeannie.
Oh, that's all right.
So-
And we'll talk to you.
That's fine. I think it'd be good to find out.
Yeah.
If you want me to, I'd be happy to.
Okay.
That'd be-
Yeah, the more the merrier.
Okay, good. I think we're good to go. Any last comments? Everyone got their questions answered?
Yeah, I just need to get in touch with you, TK, afterwards to get you the pickers.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Great. Yep. I parked my car near the cafe.
Yeah, the soccer game is taking forever,
yeah.
so I don't think I'm gonna make it tonight. but
Okay,
we'll
that's
figure it
fine.
out.
I'll see you. Okay, bye, bye, Ashton. Okay, bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good meeting.
Thank you.